Alright everyone, we start off today talking about this so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill. They took the corpse of the initial infrastructure pork barrel spending bill, which is mostly not even about infrastructure if you actually go through the proposals that are in it. It's mostly about nonsense. It's, bribes and kickbacks. It's sort of like shovel-ready 2.0 when you really think about it, only 10 times more expensive. They've tried to rebrand it because Mitt Romney and a couple of other RINOs are kind of sort of tacitly aboard. But the deal that they've made with the Dems is basically the Democrats' bill minus a very small proportion of the cost. It still contains basically all of the main components that the Biden administration wants without any seeming real victory for the GOP. If this passes, by the way, this would be problematic for the Republicans. McConnell and all the other Republicans that have, even eensy-weensy little balls need to dogpile Mitt Romney and make it clear he's going to have a real goddamn hard time over the next few years if he doesn't go back on this deal without significant changes. Number one has been suggested the restoration of Keystone, that they should get Biden to back down on it. Would that work? Probably not. Another thing, they're trying to load $40 billion extra dollars into the IRS to hire tens of thousands of new agents with the idea of increasing the number of audits. I'll get into all these things in a moment. However, first and foremost, if you are watching this video on YouTube, including the roughly 500 new subscribers since yesterday, thank you Viva Fry and Barnes Law, definitely take a look down below at the pinned comment, links to 4 other video hosting sites that I use. Keep in mind, I make 4 videos every day. I'm a workhorse. I'm an old school YouTuber / now content creator. I only put 2 videos these days on YouTube because it's not as important because they just algorithmically demote everything anyway. And even more if you make more than 2 standalone videos in a 24-hour period. Keep that in mind. Today I have to make a 3rd because of a literary update, so I'm already fighting with a leg tied behind my back today. But the Democrats' bill is basically unchanged. I think the worst part of it is the expansion of the IRS. Now, Biden has come out and said, through Jen Psaki, of course, because he can't even utter a sentence without making some major verbal mistake. He comes out and he says, well, this won't affect anyone who's making, I think he said the threshold is like $500,000 a year. We're not going to increase the number of audits on regular citizens. Number one, bullshit. That's wrong. Number 2, doesn't that suspiciously sound familiar to another economically based promise that Biden made and very quickly went back on that no Democrats remember this? Remember when he said that, period, I won't raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. Then it became under $400,000 a year, asterisk, like the asterisk administration. Well, this won't include a lot of couples that on paper they're doing pretty well because filing jointly. So he threw 1 million, 2 million people under the bus. What does that matter? Who cares, right? And the problem is, married individuals in that particular demographic are going to lean heavily Democratic. Rich people at this point. The Democrats are now the party of the rich and of pandering to everyone else pretending to care about them. Just look at a list of major donors and you'll see this. It's funny because the Lincoln Project actually, because of their their total obsession with people donating to the insurrectionist Republicans that voted against investigating the insurrection that almost overthrew our republic. It's funny because it actually shows that the vast supermajority of big corporate donors like Fortune 500 companies and like billionaires, it's like 95% of the Democrats. Oh boy, are they accidentally proving the wrong fucking point. It's funny, I expect the supposedly enlightened liberals any day now to start pandering to billionaires too and saying, well, they wouldn't be billionaires if they weren't intelligent. No wonder they're not Republicans. Wouldn't that be funny? They're the party of the working class, supposedly. Just to keep that in mind. That Michael Moore still harbors fever dream delusions about that ever being the case in modern history again. But it's not bipartisan. Keep in mind the sloganeering here when we look at this bill. By bipartisan, what they mean is Mitt Romney is aboard. That's basically what it boils down to. A couple of the RINO cons in the Senate are thinking about voting for it. By the way, they should be kicked out of the party if they do. This is literally an unchanged variant of Biden's bill that just reduces the price tag marginally. It's multiple trillions of dollars over only a few years. The inflation alone from this would be economy killing. It's a terrible idea. If anything, what we should be doing right now that we have this Apparently, but supposedly we have a massive Biden recovery. Yeah, unemployment just ticked up again to almost 6% now, but that's not a big problem because we added a bunch of underpaying jobs in the restaurant sector. Everything's fine, everyone. Don't worry, it's transitory inflation, the economy is going fine. Okay, if the economy is going fine, why are you trying to stimulate it with trillions in new spending? That's my question. The answer is they know the economy is not growing. They think that it's necessary. Also, it's just a cash grab. It's just like Obama did with the recession. Obama took a bunch of money, gave it to his banker and corporate friends. A lot of them got golden parachutes. They pay a little fine, but they get out of the game. They don't have to deal with the recession. He essentially pays them to get out of the way for optics purposes. He gets billions and billions for shovel-ready, which falls apart, and for energy development via Solyndra and so forth. Name a major component of this so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill. Hundreds of billions of dollars for green energy projects. Where have we seen this before? This is the same kind of pig-in-a-poke spending that a couple of years from now, oh, trust me, would backfire on the Democrats in a spectacular manner. This is why the Republicans should not back it. If a couple RINOs vote for it and it passes, the rest will be able to say, told you so. It's exactly like the bailouts we saw early under Obama. We have to pass this. Our infrastructure is failing. COVID has damaged the economy. Everything will fall apart if you don't give me $6 trillion. We heard it under Obama. And within a couple of years, Occupy. And then the Tea Party. And the lame establishments, the seeds of the destruction of that paradigm were set then. If they make the same mistake again, the backlash will be even larger. Not only will the Trump populists balk at this, and fight the RINO cons hopefully even harder, they'll be fending off the lefties within their own party. There are already some leftists that are looking at this and saying, well, I don't know about this. There are some provisions that we'd like to expand here. Now, let's spend a couple trillion more dollars, say people who literally can't balance a budget. If they weren't making six-figure incomes and able to make 6 additional figures just by going to a 1-hour gala event with Goldman Sachs, then they wouldn't be solvent. You know, AOC, she can't pay for her abuela because she has to pay for her penthouse and her Tesla or whatever it is she drives. They're really, really funny. It's like the ultimate grandstand. Yeah, this car is made with a bunch of rare earth minerals mined by oil and gas, but it's got a battery in it. So, hey, I'm helping. Any RINO that votes for this, basically this is just a pork bill that raises taxes and diverts huge amounts of money into bureaucracy and into projects that half of them will fail. We've seen this before. Any Republican that votes for this is nuts. Really, any Democrat that votes for it too, but a lot of them, you got to understand the structure of Congress. The problem is that a lot of people in Congress, they represent far blue districts. Essentially, their constituents are morons, bless you, when it comes to the economy, so they expect them to vote for this sort of thing. Oh, free money? Yeah, of course, you must vote for that, AOC. Even if they know better, some of these people, they have like master's degrees and PhDs. They know that's not actually how you manage an economy. They can't do anything else. Manchin, they're still hoping that he won't flip over on the filibuster. It looks like Sinema might be the backup. Oh boy, what Razorfist would have a fucking field day with that one. That'd be funny. But no, this is not bipartisan. It's not about infrastructure. It's a bunch of pork, pig-in-a-poke bullshit, just like Obama's bailouts were many, many years ago. At the beginning of the Great Recession. It's an admission, a tacit admission by the Biden admin the economy's not as good as they present it as being. And it's a bunch of kickbacks and nonsense that will raise your taxes and rapidly expand multiple government bureaus, again, including the IRS. The IRS has an approval rate of like 0. Why are so many Democrats gung-ho to throw $40 billion extra dollars to them to hire tens of thousands of new IRS agents to audit people more? That's literally what Biden is explaining is the point. We're going to conduct more audits. Don't worry, though. You won't be targeted. Yeah, I'm already weaponizing the DOJ, the FBI, and every other bureau against people who don't like me. But I'm not going to do that with the IRS. It's never happened before. Oh, wait. See, there's another Obama connection. It's almost like Biden learned from his mentor. You remember Lois Lerner's IRS? They went after progressive groups too, but you didn't hear about it on Fox News. Nor did the leftist media care to report fairly on it because they were happy that right-wing groups were targeted. So they were willing to see some progressive groups. Oh, they got thrown under the bus. It's perfectly fine. Neoliberalism forever. That's about all. Peace out.